So much for being here with us today for our winter storm update. Speaking today will be Judge Lina Hidalgo, Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo, Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, and our Coordinator of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, Mark Sloan, Raquel Lewis from TxDOT Southeast Public Information Officer Section Director, and Paul Locke, Director of Local Government Relations for Centerpoint, as well as Rodney Janzik from Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, and Jeff Linder, Chief Meteorologist, will be here for a Q&A. Judge Hidalgo?
Okay. All right. Thank you all so much. And thank you, folks. I want to, first of all, thank the community for heeding our warning. This has been an incident so far that could have been far more devastating for the community, where we could have seen a whole lot more accidents, a whole lot more tragedies. And so far, it's been, the impacts have been limited because we have seen people staying off the roads. So I want to thank you for that. I want everybody to know that all the agencies that we have here, from the Sheriff's Office to Fire Marshal's Office to TxDOT and the hospitals and Centerpoint, we are heeding the same warnings. And so we were here all night. We're going to be here all night tonight into tomorrow. And so we really are all in this together. And so far, it looks like we're going to get through it relatively without major impacts. A lot of us have been out and about enjoying the snow. We've seen the images of people of all ages playing. We took a little break here too, and we're able to go have some fun. The sun is out, so it may be looking like things are calming down, but the main message I want to convey today is that we're not done yet. This incident is not over yet. We got to wait just a little bit longer until around noon tomorrow. So, we're seeing some more cars venture out, but you'll see already a couple of stalled cars. There was a tragedy earlier today the sheriff will talk about because of people venturing outside. It looks clear, but really it's ice. There's a lot of slush out there that you can see probably right now. We're a little bit above freezing. And then as the day continues on, that's going to freeze and that's going to turn completely into ice. So there's some ice already there. It's going to certainly worsen as the temperature drops into tonight. And so please, if for whatever reason you're out and about, please make sure that you're heading to wherever you're going to be until tomorrow midday, just as we speak, because the sun is going to fall in not very long. So it will just not be safe to be in the roadways. We are going to have hard freeze conditions across the county tonight, and that is where we have pipe bursting potential if folks have not yet made the precautions that we've been encouraging. So we're prepared, our first responders are prepared to see an uptick in calls for service overnight. One potential issue, of course, the pipes, but another issue would be fires. And so that's what we really want to talk to folks about. On the pipes, of course, we have already shared the recommendations. And on the fire, it's a question of space heaters, of using the correct heating device, and also of being really careful if you have a chimney. And so the captain here with the Fire Marshal's Office will give additional detail in terms of recommendations. But the fundamental piece is, we have had a couple carbon monoxide calls. Remember that carbon monoxide can make people sick at best, can kill folks at worst, and that has happened in previous incidents. And so if you're using something to heat your home that produces carbon monoxide, you got to put that generator, whatever it is, outside. But most importantly, don't use your stove, don't use your oven to heat the home. That's really what the biggest issue could be here, because we're not having issues really with the power. In terms of the chimneys, we have seen a few instances of structure fires. So the home the home burning because of the chimney. So the number one issue that causes chimney fires is actually user error. So if you've never used your fireplace before, or if you've never had it inspected by a certified technician, now is not the time to use it. And I know it may be tempting, but it's just not the time. If you have a wood burning fireplace and you know it's safe to use, then you want to make sure your damper is open. The damper is a little door that opens and allows smoke to go out. So it's right, you could see it right from the inside of your chimney. And so if you light the fire with the damper closed, the smoke will have nowhere to go. It'll come back into your house and it'll start a fire. So that's the main thing I want folks to be aware of. In terms of what else we are doing, our warming centers are operative. There are 23 total warming centers open all throughout the county. They're in partnership with the Red Cross, with the City of Houston, and of course our precinct commissioners. Some are overnight warming centers, some are only for the daytime. So we invite you to check readyhairs.org to figure out which center might be most appropriate for you if you need a place to be. Some allow pets, some don't. So you can check online if you need a ride to a warming center because it's unsafe out there to drive right now. Please call 311. So it is wherever you are in Harris County, whether you're in an unincorporated area like Cypress or Hockley, whether you're in a city that's not the City of Houston, or whether you're in the City of Houston, dial 311 and we will facilitate transportation for you. As I've said, right now, that slush is there. It's gonna ice the bits that are not ice. It's gonna ice as the hours go by, so it's gonna be harder to transport people into the night. So if you need a place to spend the night that is warm, try to make those calls before 7 p.m. Afterwards, we're still gonna try to go get you and get you there. But for example, earlier today, we had to stop transfers just because it was too dangerous even for those folks to be out and about. But we're gonna do our very best to not stop those services. So as far as TxDOT, we will hear directly from TxDOT, but just know that they're working to keep the roads as clear as possible. Our Toll Road Authority has also additional crews out to do as much as we can and try to make it to where the roads will de-ice as quickly as possible. But just know the focus right now is on the interstates. There is no focus on your local road in anything smaller than that. And so that's why we're asking that you not be out and about. As far as county operations, everything was closed today and will be closed tomorrow. But starting on Thursday, we are going to be opening back up. Everything in the county will be back up and functioning. The sense is that by tomorrow around noon, it should be warm enough. Most of the ice will have melted and we'll be able to return mostly to normal life. We'll just have to be really cautious when we're outside, especially if we're driving by a shaded area or an underpass where perhaps there may still be some ice. So just remember there's still a tough night ahead, a potentially dangerous night ahead, and a morning. And then around noon, it'll be back to normal. And so you're running out of time to build the snowman. So I think let's see the silver lining in this situation. Of course, it's tough for folks who needed to go to work, for establishments that needed to stay open. But of course, life safety is the priority. So since we are having this snow day or couple of days, just go out there, meet your neighbors, build a snowman, play in the snow. It's there's a really lovely silver lining, and I hope that you guys enjoy really this historic time. So let me repeat very briefly in Spanish, and then I will pass it on to the sheriff. Ya está saliendo el sol, Entonces pareciera que acabó el incidente, que ya la vida va a regresar a la normalidad, pero la realidad es que esto aún no acaba. Quiero agradecerle al público por ayudarnos a mantener esa seguridad pública. No hemos visto muchos incidentes de tragedias en las vías, tampoco en cuanto a incendios han habido algunos, pero nada al nivel que podría haber sucedido. Y eso es debido a todos ustedes que han permanecido en casa y no han salido a conducir. Ahora se está derritiendo un poco la nieve, hay áreas con hielo en las vías, pero a medida que caiga el sol y ya casi va a ser el atardecer, por ahí en una hora, eso se va a volver a congelar. Entonces las vías tal vez no tengan ya nieve visible, pero van a ser aún más peligrosas y esta noche va a ser aún más fría que antenoche. Entonces vamos a pedirles que nuevamente de ahora a por ahí el mediodía mañana planeen estar en donde están ahorita y para así que no hayan accidentes. Los automóviles que hemos visto fuera están teniendo problemas. De hecho, ya ha habido una tragedia. El sheriff va a hablar acerca de eso, un accidente, bueno, y también prepararnos para lo que es esta noche. Por favor, no calentar el hogar con el calor del horno. Como saben, eso produce monóxido de carbono. El monóxido de carbono es tóxico, entonces la gente se puede enfermar o inclusive han habido fallecimientos por el monóxido de carbono en los hogares. Entonces, si necesita calentar el hogar, puede ser obviamente un calentador instalado o un calentador pequeño que pueda tener en su hogar. Aquí el capitán con los bomberos va a hablar acerca de eso un poco más, pero la idea es que hayan 3 pies de distancia entre cualquier calentador que usted tenga, bien sea un calentador o bien sea una chimenea, que hayan 3 pies de distancia. Si usted, bueno, ya es hora de dormir, si su calentador no tiene un mecanismo que haga que si se cae se apague, entonces mejor no tenerlo prendido. Ya hemos respondido a un par de incendios en hogares y estamos todos aquí preparados con la predicción de que van a haber más incendios. Entonces, bueno, logremos que eso no suceda. Quiero que sepan también que todos nosotros, todas las agencias, desde el alguacil hasta los hospitales, la Cruz Roja, etcétera, los bomberos, hemos estado aquí también toda la noche, todo el día, estamos haciendo lo mismo que le estamos pidiendo a usted. Entonces, aquí también pasaremos la noche y ya mañana al mediodía van a subir las temperaturas y lo más seguro es que ya podamos reanudar la vida normal, un poquito de cuidado de repente cuando pasemos por debajo de un puente o áreas con sombra donde no se haya derretido aún la nieve o el hielo. Entonces, esta noche va a ser la más fría. Ya el jueves van a reanudarse las operaciones del condado, las cortes, por ejemplo, y todos los varios servicios del condado. En cuanto a los aeropuertos, bueno, ya han dicho que esperamos que abran mañana, pero hay que esperar al anuncio finalmente. Y estamos trabajando con Textot para tratar de restaurar las vías lo más posible. Pero lo más pronto posible. Pero el enfoque es en las vías interestatales y estatales, más no las calles en su vecindario. Entonces, por eso, por favor, continúe teniendo esas precauciones. Y finalmente voy a hablar un poquito acerca de los centros de calentamiento y de las chimeneas. Entonces, tenemos 23 centros de calentamiento a lo largo del condado. A través del condado hay algunos que aceptan mascotas, hay algunos que no, hay ciertos que están abiertos toda la noche, algunos que solo abren durante el día. Entonces, si necesita un sitio para pasar la noche o inclusive la mañana de mañana, llame al 311, al 311 y le facilitaremos transporte a uno de esos centros de calentamiento. También puede visitar readyharris.org para ver información acerca de los centros de calentamiento. Si necesitan pasar la noche en un centro de calentamiento esta noche, intenten llamar antes de las 7 de la noche porque después de las 7 va a ser muy peligroso inclusive para nuestros trabajadores de emergencia. Hoy, de hecho, tuvimos que parar esos transportes porque el peligro era demasiado. Entonces, nos hemos preparado para intentar tener operaciones toda la noche, pero bueno, llega el punto en el cual no se puede salir. Entonces, intenten hacer eso antes de que caiga el sol. En cuanto a las chimeneas, ya han habido 2 incendios al menos en el condado a causa de chimeneas. Entonces, en general, ¿por qué hay incendios causados por la chimenea? No es tanto la chimenea que sea la culpable, sino es más bien el error de usuario. Esa es la razón más común. Si acaba de instalarse su chimenea, si no la ha utilizado antes o si no la ha inspectado un técnico certificado experto, no la encienda hoy día. No es el día para probarla porque necesita que ese técnico le explique cómo utilizarla y que haya verificado que todo está funcionando bien. Si sí la sabe usar, si sí ya ha sido aprobada y evaluada por un técnico especializado, entonces lo que debe enfocarse usted debe enfocarse en el amortiguador de chimenea. El amortiguador de chimenea es como una puertecilla en la chimenea que permite que salga el humo. Entonces, antes de encender la chimenea, debe ver allá adentro de la chimenea, si alcanza a ver la puerta, pequeña puerta, debe usted abrirla. Si no la abre, entonces el humo no va a poder salir y va a entrar a su hogar y así se causan los incendios. Entonces, recuerde tener esas precauciones. Y bueno, ya casi se acaba el tiempo para crear un muñequito de nieve o tener una batalla con bolas de nieve. Entonces, aprovechar un poco ahora que está la nieve. Sé que hay personas, bueno, que tenían que trabajar hoy día, negocios que necesitan estar abiertos, pero ya que hay esta nevada, que es peligroso salir, entonces aprovechemos el lado bonito de conocer a los vecinos, de jugar con los niños. De hecho, nosotros también cuando tuvimos un descansito salimos a jugar con la nieve porque es algo histórico, es algo único aquí en la región y podemos que más bien sea algo divertido si es que todos trabajamos juntos en mantener esas precauciones. Entonces, bueno, lo dejo ahí. I will now pass it on to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez.
Thank you, Judge Hidalgo, to all our partners that are gathered here today and to our media partners as well. Thank you so much for being here. From a public safety perspective, I think we are doing relatively well. We do not have any significant events at this moment. Since 10 p.m. last night, we have worked approximately 168 crashes involving vehicles. That's different types of impacts, but that's what we've been working. We did have an incident in the last few hours where someone got stalled coming down an overpass. Two individuals exited to try to assist, trying to push the vehicle out of harm's way. Unfortunately, a vehicle that was following closely behind wasn't able to stop fast enough, striking one of the individuals, breaking the individual's leg. The individual was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but with a broken leg nonetheless. And the other received no injuries. But again, it just speaks to the dangerousness of being out in the roadways, that if you were to get stalled, there's other potential impacts. It's not only, we do hear at times folks that say, well, I lived in Michigan, I lived in other parts, I feel comfortable driving in this type of condition. Perhaps so, but Houstonians do not. And then we have the dangerousness just of the roadway. You could slip or slide, damage your vehicle, damage someone else. And then we're having to respond as well. And just want to remind everyone that just like you have to navigate the dangers of these roadways, so do we. And so it's very concerning for me to put our deputies in harm's way to have to respond to help someone, and keep in mind that that response may be delayed, whether it be from us or EMS or someone that has to get there. So you may be in a very dire situation. So don't put yourself in that type of situation. The judge indicated that we're expecting a potentially dangerous night, and I think that is very accurate, and that's our concern, is that at some point, with the sun that's out right now, this snow will begin melting, but overnight, with the dropping of temperatures that we'll hear from Jeff about, it's going to become black ice. And so it's very, very deceiving. You say, okay, I think the worst is over. I could get back on the roadways, go to eat or for something else. And then you're going to hit a patch of ice. And again, it's going to cause dangers. Or if you're on an overpass of some kind, you may be stuck there and we may not be able to get to you. And again, with the cold temperatures tonight, it's going to be very uncomfortable and very dangerous if you have to sleep in your vehicle because we cannot get to you safely. So keep that in mind as well. And that's really going to be our continued message to our community, is to continue to stay off the roadways if you can. Just stay home. We're almost past this. It's okay to have fun for a little bit longer, especially if you're just outside your home or something like that. But if you could avoid the roadways, it's much better because we are seeing some dangerous conditions out in the roadways. Want to just take a brief moment just to thank all members of Harris County Sheriff's Office family. We've been working around the clock. My team and I, we've stayed at our facilities to make sure we're working hand in hand with them. But whether it be our corrections officers or our dispatchers or our frontline deputies, thank you for answering the call to serve while, our families are, in their homes and other places, and we're protecting the community. So I appreciate them. We work collaboratively in this region, so I want to thank my constable partners. Everybody's been out there. Chief Noe Diaz with the Houston Police Department. We've all worked together to make sure that we're keeping safe our community from any violent crime and things like that. And so while we have had incidents, nothing extreme, and we've been able to continue to answer the call, and we'll continue to do so. We're going to be vigilant, we're going to be alert, and we stand ready to serve. But we need your help as well. And again, very proud of our community for heeding the call so far. We're not out of the woodwork yet. So please stay vigilant, stay weather aware. Thank you to all the media partners for getting these messages out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Let's hear from Mark Sloan, Emergency Management Coordinator.
Judge, thank you. Sheriff, thank you. Judge, appreciate your leadership throughout this entire winter weather event. Sheriff, the partnership that we have, your deputies, the sacrifices they make every day, being out on the roads and working 12-hour shifts to help those that end up in harm's way. I'd be remiss not to mention that there are over 100 people upstairs in the Emergency Operations Center upstairs that have probably only gotten about 3 hours of sleep. It's been a very busy few days. Not all of them wear uniform. They are partners in elected offices with our Commissioner's Office, Intergovernmental Affairs, Universal Service, making sure our IT and the EOC is fully operational. Our catastrophic medical operation partnership with CETREC, making sure that the hospitals remain operational, not just in Harris County and at the medical center, but throughout the entire region, and the coordination and partnership with all 34 cities that are part of Harris County. There are over 54 different fire departments. There's a lot of coordination that goes on every day, multiple times a day, in order to make sure that we partner together in order to get through this event. A few days ago, we were all talking about 6 to 8 inches of snow, blizzard-like conditions. We are fortunate that it didn't happen here, but it was further to the east. But we woke up this morning to a beautiful snowfall that everybody got the opportunity to go play in. The sun is out now, and as the judge said, we're not done. Don't put yourself in harm's way, and don't put first responders' lives at risk by doing something because you think it's safe. If you look at the TranStar cameras, you can still see snow on the overpasses. It is going to be dangerous after sunset. As the judge mentioned, stay home tonight. We're this close to coming out of this without any catastrophic event. Heed the warnings, stay home. Tomorrow, we're going to start getting back to a new state of normal. Thank you.
Okay, we'll hear from Raquel Lewis, TxDOT's Southeast Public Information Officer, Section Director.
Good afternoon. We are very proud to be able to say that our pre-treatment has served us well, and we're being able to recover the system. The important thing here is it's not over. We are still expecting and needing people to stay vigilant, stay off of the roads. This is still a very hazardous driving condition situation. We really need people to stay the course and stay off the roads. Our crews are still out. They're still doing pre-treatment. You've seen probably our snow plows that are working the roadway system. It's focused on the highway so that we can maintain the capacity for first responders, for emergency response, for essential movement of goods and services. So please, 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 if you can't avoid travel, drive to conditions. We also are encouraging you to make sure that you stay situationally aware. We've come a long ways. We really thank those of you who have heeded the warning to stay off the roadway. Please continue to do that as we move through the rest of this event. Our crews are still going to be out canvassing all of our roadways, our highways, making sure that we move that accumulation off of the road so that as we have the dropping temperatures tonight, it doesn't turn into hard freeze ice, which could be really hazardous as you wake up and start trying to move around tomorrow. So thank you for what it is you're doing, to be vigilant, to allow us to service this community. Thank you, Judge. Thank you to our partners. We appreciate that this is a team sport and that we're going to get through it together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll hear now from Paul Locke, Director of Local Government Relations at Centerpoint.
Thank you, Judge. As of 11 o'clock this morning, we had restored power to 99.9% of our customers that were without power. Our crews, contractors are working side by side with 1,200 mutual aid folks to work to restore power as quickly and as possible to get everybody back on. We don't anticipate this to be a multi-day event. We currently have, as of 3:45, we have 2,300 customers without power across our system and approximately 800 without power in Harris County. We did experience galloping transmission lines in Brazoria County due to high winds. That is no longer an issue. We have not had any issues with our outage tracker. We have not had long wait times with our call center. We encourage customers that if you see a down power line, to please contact us, to stay away, and to please contact us at 713-207-2222. If you smell gas inside your home, please step outside and call us at 713-659-2111. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now we will hear from Rodney Janzik, Harris County Fire Marshal's Office Captain.
Hi, good afternoon. I want to reiterate what the judge said on some of the fire safety tips, but we wanted to focus on the use of space heaters and remind everybody to keep them at least 3 feet away from combustible and flammable materials. Remind everybody to turn them off when you go to sleep and make sure they have a safety switch so if they do tip over, they'll turn off. You can find this information as well as some other safety information on our website as well as the Harris County Fire Marshal's social media pages. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know Jeff Linder is ready to take questions. Would you like to share some remarks as well?
I'll just echo what everybody said up here this afternoon. We've got another 18 hours to get through, and then we'll kind of get over the hump of this event. So we just need a little more patience here. We can all see the TransStar cameras right here on the wall. There is a lot of wetness on these roads. There is still a lot of slush. 7, 8 o'clock tonight, those temperatures are going to fall below freezing. This stuff is going to refreeze. You may not see the snow. This morning you got up, it was all white. This is what we call kind of black ice. You can't see it. The pavement looks wet, but it's a layer of ice. It's extremely dangerous. So once we get to about noon tomorrow, this will hopefully break up some. Of course, transportation is doing a really good job of working on these roadways, and then we'll come out of this as we get into tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you so much. We'll take some questions now. Yes, go ahead. Bueno, las buenas noticias es, igual es histórico, es algo, una nevada que puede ser peligrosa, pero también muy hermoso, pero pudo haber sido mucho peor. Si hubiera caído más nieve, habría sido un problema para las estructuras grandes, por ejemplo, los techos de hogares, de estadios. Ya ese peso se vuelve demasiado y se colapsa esa estructura. Entonces, bueno, el techo. Entonces, realmente fue una bendición que la tormenta se movió rápidamente hacia el este, fuera de nuestro condado, y la nieve que cayó fue suficiente para divertirse un poco, pero no suficiente para que el peso fuera a destruir parte de la infraestructura. Pero bueno, sí es más de lo que se ha visto, ciertamente más nieve de la que cayó en 2021, pero aquella nevada pues fue especialmente impactante y trágica por lo que se fue la luz por tantos días. Esta vez, como ven, Centerpoint asegura que la luz no se va a ir, y lo mismo han dicho los líderes estatales. Bueno, permitir que el alguacil hable.
Nosotros, gracias por el liderazgo de la jueza Hidalgo y todos los compañeros que están aquí, pensamos que hemos procedido en una manera positiva. Hemos podido pedirle al público que se mantengan en casa y parece ser que lo han hecho. Obviamente sabemos que todos quieren salir a disfrutar un poco de la nieve, nosotros también, especialmente que es algo distinto y único para nosotros. Pero hemos investigado aproximadamente 168 accidentes automovilísticos. Sí tuvimos hace un par de horas donde una persona trató de un vehículo que iba bajando de un puente, se paró el vehículo, no pudo, tenía problemas donde no podía continuar el vehículo. Dos personas salieron del carro, trataron de ayudar, y una persona que venía atrás se chocó con el vehículo y pues se dañó la pierna a un individuo, los llevaron al hospital, pero va a vivir, pero eso habla sobre el peligro que uno corre en las carreteras. Está saliendo el sol por este momento, que va a derretir la nieve, pero por la noche sí se va a convertir más como en hielo en las carreteras, y eso es muy peligroso para los oficiales y los bomberos que tienen que responder, y es posible que no podamos llegar en una manera rápida, una ambulancia o un oficial a ayudar. Entonces le pedimos al público que ya mero superamos esto, pero necesitamos la cooperación del público. No solamente es nuestra responsabilidad, sino nuestro pueblo también, que se mantenga a casa lo más posible.
Yo tengo una pregunta, Shane. ¿Qué pasa si una persona va conduciendo en la autopista esta noche? No debe de salir, pero se queda atorado en el hielo. ¿Debe de salir de su vehículo? ¿Debe de quedarse? ¿Qué es lo que debe hacer?
Si está dentro del carro y está donde no puede, ya está inmovilizado, no puede continuar el carro. Depende de la situación, depende de dónde está. Si está de una manera segura, donde no está fuera de los elementos y puede llamar por ayuda, es bien. Pero si está en medio de una carretera, a veces es mejor que salga, porque si viene alguien más y pega al carro, puede ser un accidente más fuerte, porque la persona está dentro del carro y la otra persona, como vimos hoy esta tarde, no puede frenar con suficiente tiempo. Por eso le pedimos que, si es posible, que traten no estar en la carretera para que no estén en ese tipo de situación. Cada situación va a ser único. Si pueden salir del carro de una manera segura, llamar, pero aún así es posible que ahora tienen que ir familiares, oficiales a ayudar, y tal vez no puedan llegar también, porque igual como esa persona está en esa situación, también nosotros corremos riesgo también. We're investigating two right now that have caught our attention. One was this morning at the 200 block of South Fry, I believe, at the Katy Freeway outside a fast food restaurant. There was an individual believed to be unhoused that was deceased. So we're investigating that. In case we believe there may be underlying issues, but again, we don't know the impacts of weather until there's an autopsy that's conducted to see what, if any, the weather may have played. But since it happened during this time frame, we're, at least for now, looking at it as possibly weather related. And we had one yesterday off of Antoine, approximately 10:30 in the morning, and another unhoused individual that was behind an apartment complex that also was pronounced deceased. Again, possible underlying conditions, so we don't know what impacts the what. That was earlier in the day yesterday, but since it's in this window, we are going to take a look to see if it was possibly weather related. That's why we work proactively with the judge and her teams and ours to make sure our homeless outreach teams go out proactively to try to to coordinate and assist as many unhoused individuals as we can, because sometimes they may not be plugged into all that's going on. And we'll continue to do that, not only now, but even after this, the dangerousness of this event, because we still expect very cold temperatures out there, even after this immediate winter event. And so we'll be out there still proactively trying to get more to safety.
Yeah, it's close. So I may have misspoken. We're opening on Thursday is when we're opening county operations. So tomorrow, Wednesday 22nd is still closed. And then the Thursday the 23rd is when county operations will resume. So if you had a summons, then actually what we've said, that you're free. You know, you're not going to have to come anymore. If you are in part of an ongoing trial, then, you know, they'll contact you and give you information. And then as far as here, as the sheriff said, even when we demobilize the majority of the folks upstairs, we're still going to maintain individuals that can look after the homeless population as the cold temperatures continue for a little bit.